welcome to Malibu Village Books. My name is Michelle. I'm the owner here at Malibu Village Books, and today we have a special treat for you. So, as you know, or may not know, this is your first time, so now you will know, we've started a new Book of the Month program, which is very exciting. It's more like a community book club. I know some of us have a hard time getting out of that house sometimes and hanging out, so we've decided to start this new social Book of the Month here at both Malibu Village Books and our sister location, Lido Village Books, down in Newport Beach, California. And so this month, and every month they're going to have like different focuses to it. So this month we have a very exciting person here, which I will introduce in just a second. But first off, the book for June was The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. We were very excited. If I'm not mistaken, it is her debut book, right? So it's her debut book. She is based in Texas. So if anybody was born and raised in Texas, I have to admit, it's super fun every time she references like Bluebell ice cream. I was like, oh, I remember Bluebell. They had the best like vanilla bean. And my mom even to this day will talk about how it's the best ice cream. Anyway, so it's always fun to get some like nostalgic heritage cultural things. And I'm like, oh, Texas. Anyway, side note, I digress. Bright Years, real quick, follows a family throughout their seasons. It's about the fullest love between two people, the fears of being parents, the secrets they keep in the future about their past, addiction, motherhood, and so much more. It's a family drama that spans 3 generations and beautifully illustrates the tragedy and hardness of daily life, all while still showcasing the tiny moments of hope that still occur in a day. The book is set out in 3 different parts. You start the book with Lillian's perspective, who is the mother, and then you get into Georgette's perspective, which is the daughter, or Jet, and then we have Ryan, the father. So it's it's really cool the way she put it all together. And it's also cool, you really kind of need to know or be able to see their perspectives as you're reading the book. So you can really see everyone's perspective, so you're not too judgmental about somebody. It's really a lovely book. I highly recommend it. I would love for you to comment, give your comments, tell us your thoughts. What did you think of it? We would love to hear. And today we're welcoming Ferdelle. We're very excited to have a conversation with her all about the audiobook process, as she does narrate one of the characters in The Bright Years. Ferdelle is one of our local, one of Malibu's local audiobook narrators here. So welcome, Ferdelle. This is very exciting.
I am so happy to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you.
I love this place.
Yay, thank you. I know, it's kind of fun, huh?
This is great.
It's like endless books everywhere. La-la.
My dream place.
It is a very cozy spot. Which is exciting. So tell us about yourself. So you live here in Malibu, which is amazing. Before Malibu, or where do you call home?
I call Point Doom home.
Oh, okay.
But I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I moved to LA in 2016.
Amazing.
And did a stint in Napa during the pandemic, came back here because I was still working in LA, and just finally found Malibu's home last January. So I'm new, but this has always been the spot for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is. It's so beautiful, and always feels so like home here.
Yeah, it does.
I agree.
The ocean just hugs you. The mountains are just like, hello, I'm your backyard. And
And I'm like, when I'm up in Malibu too, I'm like, oh, you can breathe up here.
It's true.
Right? Like, you're like, everyone's not on top of you. You're like, oh, ocean and mountains. Yeah. And, I can frolic over here. It's really exciting. So I'm like, breath. Which is great.
It's one of the reasons why my husband and I came out here, is because I was having asthma in other parts of LA.
Oh, no.
And I need my breath for voice acting and performing and singing. And I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yes.
Air's clean.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
And from Toronto, so how is Toronto different than here? I love Canada.
Yeah, Toronto is so different than the West Coast, of course. I liken it to New York City, but Canadian. So It's really clean. It's not to say that New York doesn't have clean spots, but sometimes it doesn't. Really safe. I just remember walking across the whole city and, just being safe and fine.
Yeah.
It's got a very simple subway system, but fairly accessible, and we can bike everywhere, and you don't have to drive everywhere.
Right. Canada's good at that.
And it's one of those places where, like New York, things are opened until like 2, 3, 4 a.m. So it's a really great place to grow up because I was able to, like, after university, like, work my full-time job at a healthcare facility, and then go and do music, and then go and do comedy, and then go and do like a writing session, and then be home at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and have done like several things. So it really allowed me to kind of create a foundation before my career really started coming out here.
That's amazing, which is so different from here.
Yeah, you have to do kind of one thing.
Yeah, because Malibu closes very early.
It's true.
But I always say, because sometimes when you look up the mountain, you see all the beautiful houses, and you're like, I would want to be at my house up on that mountain overlooking the ocean and the sunset by sunset every single night, having dinner, so I can see why Malibu closes early.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy the sun as it rises and sets. Yeah.
I know, it's amazing. Perfect. And so how did you get into voice acting?
It was always a dream of mine when I was a little girl, but I never expected that it was something I'd be able to do because other, actors or peers around me were so incredible at doing voices. Oh. And the only voice I could do was my own, which actually serves me as a voice actor, and we'll get into that afterwards, or especially as an audiobook narrator. So I had started singing professionally when I was 7. Okay. I was a backup singer for a children's performer. Cool. So I was like singing like Twinkle Twinkle in a recording studio. My mom had put me in like the tightest shoes, not realizing like you really have to be in comfortable clothes in a recording studio. And that was the first time I'd had, like in the old cassette tapes with the little flyers, my name was like written in like number 4 times New Roman. And I was like, it's my name. Yay! I have a singing credit. And I continued to do music from there. I was a trained classical pianist as a little girl, and I started acting on stage when I was about between 6 to 12 years old. Okay. I was doing that a lot, not realizing acting could be something I could do, like as an actual profession. Right. So I went to university with a lot of performance under my belt, and I tried to study neuroscience. So I wanted to be a psychologist or a neurosurgeon. Yeah. Obviously, that did not work out for me. Did not become part of the medical system or the healthcare system. And the night I graduated, I had submitted a short film I had written into the Real Asian Film Festival and had gotten accepted. And it was an inaugural program where these students were allowed to take the scripts that they had written, their short films, and have them produced. Oh, cool. And they would cover everything, and we would get provided a crew and mentors, and that was sort of what got me into the idea of something like this was something I could do. Because I had been working on set before that, and I'd been on stage before that, and I was like, what else can this become? Right. So I was kind of dabbling in various creative fields before that, and then after I had gotten my film in the film festival, I went and studied at Second City, Toronto. Oh, yeah. It was the best years of my life. Wow. I loved it. It was just, it fortified the parts of me that just wanted to play and be present in the moment and say yes. Yes. So those were absolutely formative, foundational years. And then I eventually moved to Santa Monica for acting school and went to the songwriting school of Los Angeles in Burbank, did more music. Wow. And all of the things that I had done in front of the microphone, all of the acting training that I had done that involved breath work and movement really created it kind of made sense as to how I became an audiobook narrator, because all of those things you don't really think about when you're reading, but when you're performing in your whole, reading the text and performing with your voice and your breath as your instrument, it's all part of audiobook narration. And I was already obsessed with books before that anyway. So I would be the kid during summer reading. I would like bring home a stack of books like taller than me at the age of 7 and be like, I want to take all of these out. And at a certain point, I had read all the books at my library where I grew up in like the young adult middle grade section. And then I was like, what's next? So yeah, it's
amazing.
Yeah, just sort of this long journey to get here. A friend of mine had overheard my wish that I wanted to get into voiceover and animation at an acting class in Santa Monica. I had studied Meisner, and he approached me after class, and he was like, "You should get into audiobook narration." And I was like, "How do I do that?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I've narrated for years. I've probably done over 200." And he kind of took me under his wing and sort of showed me the ropes, told me I had a microphone, but I didn't have like the whole setup yet. I didn't realize what it would take to manage a digital audio workspace, a DAW. I use Pro Tools to have a quiet space so that you don't have all this noise and you can sit and narrate for long periods of time. He really just taught me all the things that I really needed to learn to be successful. And with everything I'd already known, it just kind of took off. And it was really amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. So we're kind of jumping ahead, but do you go into studios for your audios, or do you like most of it in studio work?
It depends.
Or okay.
Yeah, so it depends. Certain publishers and certain books want to have you in the recording studio, and other books prefer that you're in your own booth. I love both. I love my sound engineers. I love any recording studio. Yeah. But most of the books I do are from my recording studio at home. Okay. But I've gone from recording under a blanket, sitting on the floor of our Venice Beach apartment, trying to pretend to be a polar bear. Wow. And to like this double-walled, vacuum-sealed booth that we designed at our home now. So it's so amazing to like come into my booth and be like, wow.
That does sound amazing.
It's really cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
How fun. It's like the dream.
It is the dream. It's like my little office. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
If I can, I'm like, knock on the window. I'm like, I can hear you. My dogs. I have a dog named Bruce Wayne, and he always sits outside of my booth just like waiting for me. And he looks for me in there, and I'll be like, I'm not in there. She just knows it's where I'm at always.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this is exciting.